And bonjour, mon ami! Comment allez-vous? Here we go. A long-awaited review on the Micsig here. Should have done this ages ago, and I'm going to tell you why. Well, I should have done this video before now, but the reason is I got this email on the 13th of April from Micsig. Hi Dave, just show your video, link below to show the Micsig oscilloscope. You have a ATO1004, this is our general scope. We have an ATO series, and this is for automotive using specifically, and that's the link to YouTube there. And it's that video there, PWM explained. So we'll go back to that email. We are looking forward to seeing your more exciting videos. So I'd like to provide the code to let you upgrade. Are you interested? Best regards, Shenzhen Micsig Instruments Limited, International Sales Director. And I replied going, yeah, sure, go for it. And he sent me stuff like that. Yes, I am interested if you want. In return, I will make a video to demonstrate the product and good service. Thank you, me. So there you go. And he did right away that morning. So they upgraded me to an Automotive oscilloscope, if you can make that out. Right, I have the lights dimmed in the background here a wee bit for to try and reduce the glare. So anyway, it brings up charging circuits, so it's all presets, and it's exactly, it's basically the same thing. Right, I was used to the ordinary ATO1004, which is just an ordinary scope, and it doesn't have any of these presets in them. And I'm a bit of an advocate of that, for to get to know how to use a scope and to learn how to use a scope. This is like a a bit of a cheat, really, but it does give you a good idea on what settings you should be on. Sometimes it's not perfect, depending on the car you're on and all that there. But I'm just going to do in this video here, if you have one of these type of scopes, where it's an ATO or a ATO1004, I'm just going to show you a wee bit more of this Micsig oscilloscope, where to buy it, how to get it, and what I'm going to show is the connectivity of this. And this is a 4-channel scope, 4 channels, and it can input 300 volts RMS. So it can actually peak more than that then. So for automotive use, generally speaking, you don't need to use any attenuators. And it's 100 megahertz, and it has a massive sample rate. So, it's well spec'd. It's nearly over spec'd for automotive use. Now, when I did do that upgrade, I did notice that it lost the invert ability, and there was a recent firmware upgrade that brought that back. So we'll have the invert button. So it has the same functionality. There's a few wee things that are different. It has this wee car symbol down here, which brings you up the presets, and you can go through them all: network, test, ignition, all that usual nonsense. And then, but the only thing is that means that my cursors then are down, my vertical cursors are down in this sub menu. So I have to get it up like that. And it brings up boxes that it didn't do before for number of cylinders and stuff like that. So it's a wee bit more user friendly for the automotive. So there you go, Micsig. Thank you very much. So coming off that for a minute or two, I'll move you on to this. Is my wee tablet here. So I've just took the liberty of putting a few screenshots up there. So that Telonic, that is the UK distributor for Micsig, and there's different prices there, and they do like packages where you know, you get decoding licenses and stuff like that. And that's the ATO1004 Plus. So when I bought this Micsig, you could buy, if you bought a ATO1104 without the word plus on it, you didn't get a battery with it. So I thought that was a bit strange, and I know there's a very good review on Mike's electric stuff, and you know, he was a bit confused about the way these things were marketed and the way they were sold, you know, because there was that many different options and you had to buy add-ons and all that there. Now, you know, Micsig have basically upgraded this for me for free, and they've given me the decoding license for the CAN and all that stuff that I never really use, but nevertheless, you know, you had to buy additional tokens if you want, you know, to upgrade it, and it even came, you know, it didn't use HDMI. There's an HDMI socket, mini HDMI in the side of it there, but you know, you had to buy like a license to make that work. So he was a bit confused, and it is a bit confusing the way this thing's marketed, and there's no doubt, but there are guys that do the whole package. You need to make sure you buy it with a battery, because you can't actually buy it without a battery. Now, that's the UK distributor. Micsig themselves have a shop on official store on AliExpress, and you get the options T1104 with battery and all that jazz. So you need to go through that for yourself, the suit, and then somewhere in there will be the ATO one as well, I'm sure. And that is AliExpress there as well, with a lot of different options and all the different accessories. So they've just released a coil on plug, there's a current clamp and all that, but you know, all the ordinary accessories, the ordinary current clamps that I have, and leads and all, because it's just an ordinary scope at the end of the day, you know. So I was going to talk in this sort of review is the connectivity of this wee scope. And it's actually quite amazing. There's multiple ways that you can connect that to a TV, connect it to your laptop, you know, all sorts of things. And I'm going to run through some of them here. And if you don't own one of these scopes, it might mean nothing to you. If you do own one of these scopes or thinking of buying one, you know, you can see for yourself. I think it's a great wee scope for a mobile diagnostic guy, you know, because the battery lasts all day, and you have 4 channels, and you really don't need attenuators, but that's up to you, of course. And Micsig.com, you go onto that, that's their own website, and over to the right hand side here, there's all sorts of downloads and instructions and stuff like that. And you can download wee apps for your phone, to a tablet, to your laptop, and you can make this thing chooch on nearly anything. So here's a quick example. We'll go back to our wee scope, and it's just sitting there where we left it, and we'll go into the home page there. I don't know why I'm using this here. This thing actually, my finger's better, but go into settings, and at the minute it's connected to my garage Wi-Fi here. So if I go off that and go into wireless LAN AP and turn that on, that means then that is emitting a wireless signal out of that. So it's acting like a router itself, you know. So we can get that up on the laptop. So with that wireless LAN output enabled, I'll scoot you around to the laptop, and this is downloaded. Now this particular one here, I don't really recommend this one. This one has the ability for net or USB. The sort of standard one, you need a special driver for that one, for the USB connectivity. But there's one that you don't need the driver, and you just download it and away you go, and it goes on the net. So if I click that button there to connect it, it will bring that up. And it's not. And I'm glad that I did that, actually, because I have to show you what you have to do. You have to connect to the Wi-Fi that it's outputting. So we'll connect that there. and we'll let that go a wee second. And hopefully it'll connect now. So there we go. So, yeah. So that was actually good that happened there. So let me see. So what we can do, we can run this then from the laptop, and there's our screen. So we can hit run and stop and all that. We can go into our settings, and we can do it from here if we want. So we can leave the mothership over there, sitting there. We'd leave it on the bench, or wherever, and we can run it from the laptop. So that's one way of connecting it. Right, so I've connected a USB-B into the side of the Micsig, and an ordinary USB there, and we're going to plug that into the laptop. So what I can do now then is just to make sure that this USB is going to connect. We're going to turn that wireless signal off, and that's it off. So we'll bring you around to here, and well, that won't connect now, so that's that gone. And we need to change over to USB here. We'll change over to USB and hit go, and we're back, and we're going to run it like that. So there you are. But as I say, I don't know why you would want to do that. I'll get you in that. So that's now in USB there, and we can run it from the USB. But why would you want to do that when you can just turn the Wi-Fi signal on in the mothership? I don't know. But the USB connectivity, you can do another couple of things with the USB cable and just take away that application there completely. So the USB plugged in, and I've come out of that app, and that's just the PC settings there with the drives, the C drive and the DVD drive and all that palaver, So we'll go back onto our wee mothership here, and we'll come out of that. We need to go into these settings again. So you need, if you're going to do all this here, you sort of need to familiarize with it, but you'll end up either not using it at all or just using one. But I'm just showing, what's available here. So go into settings again, and in the USB, and we'll click USB storage device there. So we'll click that, and we hear the laptop going doo-doo, and that is now available to us there. There's it there, Micsig E. So this is the easiest way to access your files and stuff. Now you can change your background there and all that there. Now one thing that you can't bring up is your reference waveforms. The reference waveforms have a protocol that are within the Micsig there. So unless I don't know of an app on the PC that you can open them with, but any recordings or screenshots which are just taken as as like a file, that's an AVI file. So your ordinary Windows there will display that. Your ordinary video player in Windows will play whatever recordings that you have and screenshots, but the reference waveforms are in the scope, and you can't open them. There's no way that I can see you can open them anyway, and that is a video play. You can see in 2019, December 2019, I did that, and that's the original icon there, the normal oscilloscope icon. So that's now changed so that's the way it would look before. I just go back on that a bit actually. That's the way this looked before, with the cursor buttons down the bottom, and that has changed now to a wee picture of a car, and with the Automotive. So there is another way of connecting it, and it on the Micsig website it describes to do it this way, and it's over your home Wi-Fi. So you need to turn your shop or your home Wi-Fi back on again there, and just get up your browser. And then if we go over to the mothership there, we need to turn wireless LAN on, which is, it's just going to connect to the Wi-Fi, that's coming from the router from your broadband or whatever it is, So that's it. They're connected, and then we'll go back to our browser, and what we do is in the top there we type in FTP, a colon, that's 2 dots, and then // and then your IP address. So I've already done that here, so it'll just come up hopefully once I look at all these notifications. Now I've turned the Wi-Fi back on again, so that's, and we'll hit enter. Now it brings you up this box here to sign in. Hold on, I'll just get you in that a wee bit. That wee box there, that'll bring up the your Wi-Fi name and your password and stuff. So it's looking for a username and a password, and the username and password is FTP. So it's just FTP in the top and FTP in the bottom, and you click sign in, and it'll give you the indexes of all the files. Okay, so there's the files up. Now it didn't come up there right away, as you saw, so that's quite interesting. So what I had to do was, I'll just take you back to the mothership again. It was still on that page with the wireless LAN connected, but I still had it connected to USB storage device. So it was still outputting the information via USB, but we're wanting to do it over the Wi-Fi. So I just had to untick that and tick it on the USB test and measurement. So that's fine, and we'll go back to here, and you can access your files there as well. So there's record, and we'll pick one of them. And again, AVI files, but it's the exact same scenario. Your reference waveforms you will not be able to open, So my advice, if you want to open your reference waveforms on a laptop, then, and what that's done is it's downloaded it. There's it there appearing down the bottom, and we'll open that, and away we go. So what I advise you to do, if you have a reference waveform, just take a screenshot of it, and then you can look at it. You can look at it that way, or do a recording of it. So you're only able to open recordings and photographs. So it's videos and photographs. It's not actually the Micsig protocol that you're able to open here. But that's dead on. So there are a couple of things to show you quickly. So we can dispense from the USB cable there. Just pulled it out, and we'll go back onto our Wi-Fi network, or home Wi-Fi network, or shop Wi-Fi network, or whatever it is, and we'll go back onto the old mobile phone here. So on this, I have an app, which that's Amazon. That's no good, right? So there we go. It's a oscilloscope app, and there we are. So I'll try and get that. There's an awful lot of glare on that phone there. So okay, we can control the scope from here. We'll go into home and hit the scope. So let's see if we can get you in that. So we can stop it. Go in the menu. Take your cursors away. Do all that sort of jazz. But this phone idea, it's far too small for to be able to do anything with, But so we need a bigger tablet. So I have a tablet, and it's going to be like a mirror here at the minute. So this is the Launch X431 tablet, and we'll just fire it up. There it is. So there we go. That's the Launch tablet fired up, and I have the app in here. So we'll just get her up, and it's bringing us up the keyboard for some reason, and there we are. So we can hit that, and yeah, so it's just mirrored onto there. And what we'll do, we'll get it chooching here. We'll do something with it. You know, so there we go. So that's the scope there, reflected on there, and you've full control over it. So we'll just go back to home again. There we are. And that's today. So one last bit, and this is all I'm going to show here for this one, is HDMI. So there's an HDMI mini port on the side of the Micsig there, and you need to get one of these wee adapters that goes on to a normal, if I can pull it off. So that's a normal HDMI lead there, and one of these wee adapters that you get off eBay for £2.99, and you stick it on there like that, and you plug it into the Micsig, and you plug that into the TV. So that's us plugged into the TV with the HDMI lead there, as you can see. I'm just holding it up, and let me see, we'll put her up again, and we can get that on a bigger screen if we want. Now you may notice it's still the square screen, and that's a 16 to 9 ratio TV. So what I can do on this TV is, let me see, I can change the aspect ratio, so I can zoom it in there a wee bit if I want to, but I'll lose a bit at the bottom, as you can see. So there's that as well. So what's that one there? Oh, that's a button. 14:9, and that is 16:9. So yeah, you know, the whole screen, but that's a 50-inch TV there I'm showing that on. So you have full control over it with doing that. But you're tethered to it with the HDMI. Now there's no settings whatsoever. I didn't change anything on that. You know, I just plugged that in and selected the TV for, you know, whatever HDMI socket that lead was plugged into, and the weight of that cable is acting on that socket there here. So what I'm doing here by holding this up isn't probably very good for this, but it's probably pretty okay, you know, if that's set on the ground, you know. So yeah, if you have a diagnostic trolley and you have a TV or a monitor on the back of it there, that's a very easy option there. Again, if your monitor is a smart TV and you could connect it through the Wi-Fi that outputs, you could do it that way as well. So there we go. I'll just take that plug out, and that's a wee bit more in the Micsig connectivity, and yeah, maybe you got something out of it. And again, yeah, Micsig sent me that upgrade package there completely for free, but I do advocate you know, the ordinary oscilloscope, the ATO1004, you know, it's more than capable and usable, and it's actually overspec'd probably for automotive use, because some of those bandwidths, you don't need 100 megahertz really, but and stuff like that. But yeah, it is what it is, and the good thing about it is, you know, the voltage, the high input, you know, your pico equivalents and stuff like that. You know, you have to use attenuators and you have to watch what you're doing. This one here, you know, according to the specs anyway, it'll take a lot more voltage there, and yeah. So it's not a differential scope now. All the earths are joined together, as in most of the Picos. I think Pico do one differential scope, but so you still have that, although they do a differential probe as an accessory. So they're bringing out more and more accessories as well. But all the stuff that I have, works brilliant on that. So anyway, hope you enjoyed that, and all the best. There's the TV off. So thanks for watching, and bye bye.